The general rule for obstructions located within 18 inches vertically from the sprinkler deflector, where the only path for water is under the obstruction, is known as the beam rule. However, when the obstruction is positioned against a wall, NFPA provides certain allowances, commonly referred to as the Soffit Rule. By applying this rule, there is no need to install an additional sprinkler beneath the soffit to protect the area underneath. In this video, we will study the Soffit rules for upright and pendant sprinklers based on the NFPA 13 2025 edition and examine the situations where sprinklers under the soffit are not required by the standard. By applying these rules, we can design optimized sprinkler systems that require fewer sprinklers, less piping, and reduced labor costs. Let's see why the Soffit rule is less restrictive than the beam rule. When a fire starts directly beneath an obstruction, the rising hot gases will split and disperse in different directions upon reaching the obstruction. However, when the obstruction is positioned against a wall, the wall directs the movement of hot gases in a single direction, guiding them into the room. As a result, the sprinkler located within the room will activate more quickly before the fire grows larger. Due to this effect, NFPA provides specific allowances for these situations. The width of the soffit is the most critical factor in the Soffit rules. NFPA 13 categorizes soffit widths into three distinct ranges: up to 24 inches, more than 24 up to 30, and more than 30 inches. In the following parts of the video, we will examine the NFPA requirements for each category. For soffits up to 24 inches wide, NFPA 13 does not require a supplemental sprinkler beneath them. This means an upright or pendant sprinkler installed adjacent to the soffit can effectively protect the area underneath. While this sprinkler can be placed anywhere nearby, it must be positioned at least 4 inches away from the soffit to prevent placement in dead airspace. Additionally, the maximum distance from the sprinkler to the wall behind the soffit shall not exceed half of the maximum allowable sprinkler spacing. For example, if a pendant residential sprinkler has a coverage area of 18 by 18 feet, it should be installed no closer than 4 inches from the face of the soffit and no farther than 9 feet from the wall behind it. For soffits wider than 24 and up to 30 inches, NFPA specifies a formula to determine proper sprinkler placement. In this formula, A represents the minimum acceptable distance between the sprinkler and the soffit. B is the vertical distance between the sprinkler deflector and the underside of the soffit, and D denotes the width of the soffit. For example, if the soffit width is 25 inches and the vertical distance between the deflector and the bottom of the soffit is 23 inches, the calculated value of A will be 40 inches. This means that if the sprinkler is installed at least 40 inches from the soffit, it can effectively protect the area beneath it. Otherwise, a supplemental sprinkler will be required. Similar to soffits up to 24 inches wide, the required maximum distance from the sprinkler to the wall behind the soffit must be maintained. Although NFPA 13 does not provide a specific guideline for soffits wider than 30 inches, we know that the Soffit rule is derived from the beam rule. This means that by applying the beam rule, supplemental sprinklers are not required. The NSVCad team has recorded another video discussing the beam rule and providing a detailed examination of NFPA requirements. You can watch it on our website, YouTube channel, or LinkedIn page. The Soffit rules for upright and pendant sprinklers have experienced two significant changes in NFPA 13, 13R, and 13D over time. First, in the 2013 and 2016 editions for soffits no wider than 24 inches, the distance between the sprinkler deflector and the bottom of the soffit influenced the requirement for a supplemental sprinkler. If this distance was 18 inches or more, a supplemental sprinkler was not required. Otherwise, the soffit was treated similarly to those up to 30 inches wide. Second, in the 2013 to 2019 editions of NFPA 13R and 13D, no specific rules existed for soffits up to 24 inches wide. As a result, the formula applied to soffits up to 30 inches. Now that we have reviewed the Soffit rule for upright and pendant sprinklers, let's explore how NSVCad can assist in applying these requirements. In this section, we will use the Sprinkler Layout tool to position pendant residential sprinklers in a room featuring 3 soffits. The soffit widths, along with the ceiling and soffit heights, are shown. When we run the Sprinkler Layout tool, a window pops up prompting us to select options or enter the required values. We designed this room in accordance with NFPA 13 2025 edition using residential pendant sprinklers. The coverage area is 20 by 20 feet, and the ceiling and soffit heights are shown in the layout. We assume a deflector to ceiling distance of 2 inches. By clicking inside the room, the software identifies the soffit width and applies the appropriate sections of NFPA accordingly. The software displays the total sprinkler coverage with a black line. It highlights the area where water can reach using a blue hatch while marking areas where water cannot reach due to violations of the Soffit rule with a red hatch. As the user moves the sprinkler within the room, the software continuously evaluates the Soffit rule in real time, adjusting based on the sprinkler's location. Pressing the Control key opens the More Info window displaying detailed information for each soffit. This includes the applicable section of NFPA, along with relevant calculations and requirements. For example, the software identifies the width of soffit 1.1 as 30 inches. It then applies the relevant formula to determine the value of B, considering the ceiling height, soffit height, and deflector to ceiling distance. Based on these calculations, it determines A as the minimum required distance between the sprinkler and the soffit. The More Info window in NSVCad is an excellent feature for understanding NFPA requirements. To prevent sprinklers from being placed in dead air space and to avoid delayed activation, the software restricts sprinkler placement to no less than 4 inches from soffits and walls. Once the sprinkler is placed in the desired location, the red hatch disappears, indicating the areas still left uncovered. This helps the user identify where an additional sprinkler is needed to ensure full coverage. In the upcoming videos, we will explore additional NFPA 13 requirements, including shadow areas, ceiling pockets, and the Soffit rule for sidewall sprinklers. These topics will demonstrate how NSVCad can assist us in designing more complex projects. I hope you find this video helpful. You can download the software from nsvsoft.net